Hey, so I just got back from a hunting trip out in Oregon with my BFF last week, and he thought I should make a video on my homemade MREs. So yeah, here we go. This is something that I've been working on for a little over a year now. I've been testing these out. Like this guy was December of 21. I kind of fell into the MRE thing. I've always liked MREs compared to dried goods. I don't know what they call them, Mountain House or whatever, dehydrated stuff. Never really liked having to boil stuff, and it always seemed to, I don't know, it's all like porridge to me. And so even when I was in the military, MREs, it's not like they tasted terrific or anything, but they were convenient. They had the water, it's already hydrated food, so you can open these things up and eat them cold. So that was always the big appeal to me, especially if it's harsh conditions and things like that. You just don't have the time to bust a camp stove out or whatever. And I'm a big fan of the flameless heaters. So anyways, basically I just wanted to cover a few, clear some things up. This was kind of an intimidating process when I first got into it for me. And so I just wanted to go over a few things, but essentially these are just called retort bags. They're no different. I grabbed some of these guys to show you, but they're no different than this kind of stuff. So when you go to the store and you buy this, for example, in fact, I think they even put these in one of our MREs way back in the day. That's all it is. It's a can. It's a can in a bag, right? So this is canned tuna right here in a can because it comes from a cannery because they have the machinery to do it. And here's the retort bag version of that. Same thing with Spam, right? I love me some Spam. Spam in a can. Love it or hate it, but here you go. Spam in a retort bag. So it's essentially the same process. Here's home canned stuff. We did some pork last year. So these are all the same thing. I mean, it's all about, taking canned or bagged food up beyond boiling temperature, to kill botulism and any other goodies that might sprout. And again, I fell into this. We got into just regular canning about a little over a year ago, 2 years ago now actually, and started learning about that process. So this is like the all-American, pressure canner, and it comes with this guide, and there's recipes and stuff like that in here. So we just started doing this at home, and we were doing different recipes. I'm trying to think. There's a chili recipe in here. Let me see. Right here. Yeah, like chili con carne, right? So we've made this in mason jars, and I actually have my beef chili right here. So I made this 32822. I used that same recipe that we did for the mason jars. We apparently made this the night that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. So yeah, I started doing this back in 21 or the end of 21. I've done a couple different batches. These are some beef fajitas. This is a Kahlua pork. Some of these this is my own thing, right? Like I made the tamales, and it's not in the book, the food preservation book or the FDA book or whatever. But a lot of things aren't either. Like you can YouTube, people can like hot dogs and shit like that. So that's not in these books either. You're not supposed to actually can cured meats according to some of these books. So, but look at you've got, these guys are doing it, right? Vienna sausages. I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but they're doing it. So there's a lot of companies, a lot of big companies that are, like this isn't, I don't think, snack olives. I don't think there's a recipe for that in these books. So, you have some freedom with it. Again, I test one about once a month, and, I make sure it looks good, smells good, tastes good, all that kind of thing. Just like you would anything else. If you open a can of food or, a mason jar. So anyways, that's basically all it is. Once you, if you're familiar with canning, just traditional canning with a mason jar, this is essentially the same deal. There is one more factor that I had to make a exception for. So that is having a damn near commercial grade, if not commercial grade, vacuum sealer. So this is the JBR Vac 100. I got this specifically for making these retort bags. It works for everything else too. It's an awesome machine. We use it all the time for just normal, vacuum sealing. But these guys do have the option. You can order this extra heat bar, and it just gets to a much hotter temperature than the standard heat bar, which is the key to getting these to seal. These will not seal on a normal vacuum sealer, so you would have to drop kind of a pretty penny. I can't remember what this thing was. I think this thing was like maybe $1,200, $1,500. It wasn't cheap. But when you start looking at buying MREs, at one point I was going to buy MREs for hunting, camping, whatever, and then the price of them was insane, and you don't know what you're getting. They're always used, not right. They're never new. It's always out of somebody's garage, and so it's pretty sketchy. I think it's more sketchy than even this might seem sketchy to you at first, or even if it was to me at first. But at least I'm controlling this, so I'm able to make sure these are all temperature controlled and sealed properly when they're pressure canned. So that is pretty much it for now. I just figured I'd put this out there and see, I don't know if people are interested in it. But again, if you know how to can, or if you're learning how to can just normal mason jars, this is very similar. You just have to be able to seal it. And then one thing, is for time. A lot of these recipes, you'll see 40 minutes, you'll see 75 minutes. It seems like 75 minutes and 90 minutes are kind of like the key when you can things. So when we're canning stuff, the pints I think are 75 and the quarts are 90 minutes. I do all my retort bags all the time at 90 minutes. So I do the max amount of time. And the reason is you gotta stuff them in this thing, and you got a lot of layers in there. These expand a lot when they're under pressure. I'll post a picture, but they almost look like they're ready to blow up. So you got to get a bunch in there to keep pressure on them. But that's actually a good thing too, because you know that they're sealing properly. And if they don't seal, you'll know right away. I've had maybe 2 or 3 failures over the time I've been doing this. And it's no, just like a mason jar, right? If your mason jar doesn't seal, you just throw it in the fridge, you eat the next day. So these things are either going to seal and handle the pressure canning process, or they're not. So it's not like a question of, oh God, I hope it's going to be okay. So anyways, that's just a quick down and dirty of how I got into this. Again, I like the convenience of having them, throwing them in a pack, or if you need a go bag or something like that. You can use a flameless heater if you want. You can throw them in boiling water if you want, or you can just eat them cold if you had to. And it's a lot less having to schlep stuff with you, again, with stoves and water. And God forbid, if you were in a serious emergency situation or something like that, you can't eat that dehydrated stuff. You can't eat that stuff straight. It'd probably not kill you, but the pain in your gut would probably kill you. So it has to be rehydrated. So it's basically useless unless you can boil it. So yeah, that's just down dirty. I'll probably do another video here in a week or so, and maybe open these up, get them going, just so you don't think it's just full of like cotton balls or something in there. But again, I've been eating these once a month. I check them, and so far, I've probably eaten 20 of these things over the last year or two, and they've all been solid. So there you have it.